Hello students, welcome once again to my class. We will start with part 4 of Evans Streisand O-Level. So the arrangement was made like this, that a device, audio recording device was planted in Evans' room and the speaker was in the governor's office, from where the governor was going to listen to all the conversation that would go between Evans and the invigilator, because governor was also thinking that Evans would surely take a chance to escape from the prison that day. That is why he had made all this drama of appearing in the examination and all these things. Alright? So the Jackson informed this thing to Evans. Evans nodded, did not say anything. There were two handkerchiefs. There was one handkerchief which was there, kept on his bunk, the place where he used to sleep. Neatly folded, a square white handkerchief was there. And before leaving the cell, Jackson wished Evans good luck and he left. Now, in the meantime, Mr. McClary, the invigilator, he had reached Oxford prison. His body was thoroughly fixed, his clothes were fixed thoroughly. The content of his suitcase was also checked very minutely. And then one of the prison officer, he was accompanying him towards Evans' cell. The prison officer was walking side by side, and then he was greeted by Jackson, and then he was handed over to Stephens. Mr. McClary was handed over to Stephens, and Stephens was asked to take him to Evans' cell. Stephens took Mr. McClary to Evans' cell. They had not entered the cell yet. From outside only, through the keyhole, he showed Mr. McClary that was Evans who was there inside. And when they were looking at Evans, when Stephens was showing Evans to Mr. McClary, Stephens saw that Evans was very attentively reading a book of German language, German grammar, elementary grammar. Understood? He was reading a book. And then he opened the gate and Mr. McClary entered the cell of Evans. The time was 9:10 a.m. Now see, in this story, at several places you will find that time is mentioned. Why time has been mentioned at so many places? Because time plays a very vital role in this story. Understood? Time plays a very vital role in this story. That is why at several places you will find that time is mentioned. When was the examination supposed to start? 9:15. The time was 9:10 already when the invigilator entered the cell. And the governor switched on the receiver. The speaker was in his room. He switched on the receiver. And he was listening to all the things that were going on all the conversation that was going on in Evans' cell. Governor remembered that he had instructed Jackson to tell Evans of this arrangement, because they wanted to alarm Evans that if Evans is trying to be very smart, then he must know that they are always watching him, always keeping an eye on him, so it won't be very easy for Evans to escape if he takes a chance of escaping from the prison that day. And then governor was pondering over his arrangement. Understood? Governor became thoughtful. He was thinking that whatever arrangement he had made to prevent Evans from escaping, was it too much? Was he overestimating Evans? Evans was not a very, you can say, dreadful criminal. But several times he had run away. So governor thought that maybe he was giving Evans too much importance. Maybe whatever things he was expecting to happen, things won't happen that way, governor was thinking. Maybe Evans really was interested in getting some qualification, achieving some qualification, academic qualification. That's why he was appearing in the examination. So all these things were going on in the governor's mind. He was thinking over it. So he turned on the receiver and he was listening. He wanted to listen to everything that was going on. But then he thought that what can he listen to? When an invigilator comes to invigilate students for the examination, then what is the first duty of the invigilator? To see to it that the students maintain complete silence. So when McClary will go to invigilate Evans, then he will surely ensure that there remains complete silence inside the cell. So what can he expect to hear? Which kind of conversation can he expect to hear going on between Evans and McClary? Understood? Still he was he was not leaving any chance, He was thinking that even after his cell was being thoroughly fixed, suppose Evans manages to keep some sharp weapons with him, and with that weapon he attacks McClary. McClary was an old man. Then what will happen? So it was better that he listens to the conversation. The governor was very attentively he was listening. And then one thing came in his mind, that Evans' cell was thoroughly fixed. That is true. No sharp weapon was there with him. But suppose the invigilator carries something sharp with him, say a jackknife. Jackknife means a folded knife, a folding knife, okay, with a knife with a folding blade, rather you can say. Suppose the invigilator carries a jackknife or any other sharp thing, and even somehow manages to snatch it for him and attacks him with that, what will happen? The moment this thought came in his mind, he rang for Jackson. He rang for Jackson and he instructed Jackson to go to the cell and once again check McClary's suitcase, McClary's briefcase rather. So Jackson once again went to the cell. That time was already, by that time it was already 9:15. The exam was supposed to start. But because the governor gave a call, so Jackson went to Evans' cell, you can say in a very respectful manner. He called Mr. McClary and once again he fixed his dress and he asked McClary to show his briefcase once again. McClary opened the briefcase. Nothing suspicious over there, but one thing was very suspicious, and Jackson could not understand what was the purpose of carrying that thing, why Mr. McClary was carrying it. What was it? It was a very small inflated rubber ring, rubber tube. Okay, a circular rubber tube, very small in size. It can be fitted in the waist of a person whose waist is as small as 12 centimeters. Understood? Very small. So this type of inflated rubber tube is generally owned by people when they go for swimming. Okay, so that they don't get drowned. Now Jackson could not understand why Mr. McClary was carrying it in his briefcase. What was the purpose? So he asked. He became curious, so he asked Mr. McClary why was he carrying that small inflated rubber tube in his briefcase. And the answer of Mr. McClary was this, that he was suffering from hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids means piles, a type of disease you can say. It's a type of ailment, piles, in which one suffers if he sits at a place for a long time. The back portion, the buttock you can say, it hurts. So he said that because he had come for invigilation, he needed to sit for a long time. So if he keeps that rubber tube on the chair and sits over it, then he will feel very comfortable. That will be comfortable for him because he was having piles. So that's why he had brought it. Jackson felt quite embarrassed because he asked such an embarrassing question. So he said sorry to McLary because he could see that McLary was also getting angry after this question was asked to him. So he said sorry, and he found a paper knife in the briefcase of Mr. McLary. He took away the paper knife and he let that rubber ring remain over there. All right. Okay, student, this much only in this video.